to Chinwag with the Horsemen. I'm Andrew.
I'm Mayberry.
I'm James.
And I'm Casey.
Thank you for joining us as we record. It's evening. I about said today, but it's evening. We're very glad that you're listening to us wherever you get your podcast. We're available all over. And for the fine folks in YouTube, we are visual too. So you get to see us and hear us. We're sorry you're having to go through that, but you chose it. We want to get right into it with some mail that we've gotten. I'm not going to even ask Avery because the last two times I did, he almost choked on some kind of soda. So, Casey, if they want to email us, how do they email us?
It is Chinwag with Horseman at gmail.com.
That's absolutely right. And we love to get these emails. We've got a few this week that we're going to go through. The first one comes from somebody that we all know very well, and she has been certainly our most interactive listener and big supporter of ours, and we are very glad to have received an email from her. And I'm going to read it here, and we'll just go through it line by line. So she says, just noticed one of the horsemen got rid of the full beard. Very nice. Looks younger. Let's see. If I had to guess who she was referring to, probably going to be James. So, James, is that something you want to address on why your face fur fell out?
Well, it was either get rid of it or find a new job. So currently,
he does love stripping so much.
Yep.
Not a big demand for strippers with beards. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Well, because they can play. I think you would want a stripper.
Maybe I'll find a strip club that allows beards. Who knows?
Well, but I think that's what you would want in a strip club.
Beards?
Because then they can play multiple positions. The creepy cop, the undercover cop, the lumberjack.
What is happening right now?
I don't know.
Is this like the time? Is this like the time when you gave that guy advice on his strip club?
This is a real thing that really happened.
We've told that, haven't we?
Yes,
I think so.
We have.
But it's always good to.
No, it's not.
If we haven't told that, write us an email and tell us, and we will tell it.
Let's talk.
I'm sure we'll tell it again at least 20 times, so it'll be fine.
It's one of Avery's highlights.
No, it's one of mine, James's.
So that's true. James is in on that too, but not quite to the same extent, though.
No, not as quite as you. But continuing on with the email.
Yes. The question comes in: why does Casey have to wear headphones?
I don't know. None of you guys are cool enough to wear headphones.
Lame.
I don't have a cool microphone like these guys, so I have to wear this headset, and I don't have a desk to sit a microphone on like you guys would have. Soon, maybe.
I currently have my whole setup is on a TV tray.
Mine's on like a rolling
TV dinner trays.
Mine's on like a rolly desk.
I didn't think about that.
Mine's on a desk because in the man cave I have a desk.
Well, in our earlier episodes, I tried not using one of these things, and it sounded terrible.
You sound much better with the headphone mic than without.
Yeah.
We are now professionals, so we have to have these professional equipment.
Well, I think we learn what's good and what doesn't, and we go with that.
It's gotten a lot better.
We are not professionals, but we can fake it till we make it.
That's right. That's the key.
Or the building will burn down, whichever one happens first.
Yeah.
You guys are in a building?
No.
Let's look outside. This is just a virtual backdrop.
Yeah.
The main
it's all green screen.
Yeah, Andrew sleeps outside.
I would have starved to death long ago. I can promise you that.
Hey, bro, you were the one when we went camping one time that refused to sleep in the tent and had to stay in the camper.
That was a million years ago. Everybody was a child.
Yeah, we were kids.
Yeah.
No, for some reason you guys didn't want me in the tent. So
no, we did.
No, nobody remembers it that way but you.
Yeah.
I just remember when we went camping when we got older, and we camped out in Casey's neighbor's house, like in the
field.
Don't put it like that. We didn't break into this vacant house or anything.
in
right
their
in their
field,
yard.
in the cow pasture, and the coyote snuck into the camp. Andrew's over there sleeping like a baby.
I slept right through it.
Didn't even hear the coyote.
Nope, had no idea about this.
Hey, man, when's the last time you heard of a grown man the size of Avery getting eaten by a coyote?
I've never heard of it.
Well, it wouldn't happen. You know why?
Because Avery would eat
after
it.
Andrew.
I am much
Easy
better
picking.
marbled than you are. So yes, they would have come after me. But what I like to think is that Aber would have had this massive battle that would have ended with him like with the jaws of the coyote and just rip that thing in half, basically. I feel like
Just
that's how that would go.
right down the middle.
I'm King Kong.
Yes, like King Kong. Exactly like King Kong. I think it's exactly
I can
how
see
that
that
would
happening.
go.
Avery versus the coyote. Be pretty sweet.
I'd watch it.
And then we thought the field was going to catch on fire because the fire spoke back up.
I have had to run from many a fire in that field with burning grass.
I just
Yeah.
remembered.
Me and Aberry actually went to help your papa burn some grass, and the guy that was
Some grass.
yeah, we helped him burn some grass. But the guy that was helping us
On fire.
was deaf and almost got himself burnt up.
You're like yelling at him, hey,
Yeah, your papa
don't get burned.
him like get out of the way, and
His arm was on fire.
it was pretty intense. For
Sorry.
also on that day, I had a truck, and Aberry got in the tailgate of that truck and picked up a log and just military pressed it. And when he did, my tailgate went. I mean, destroyed my tailgate. But
That was also the same field that we got told when we was helping to not let the cows behind us because she was very
She would try
territorial.
she'd try to kill you.
that was
The world's meanest cow.
Tinch, right?
Hinch. The devil cow.
The devil cow.
And
Yeah,
so
well.
we had to keep our eye out for her. And the guy didn't tell us that until she started coming around. And like, I think she was like standing behind James and was like, yeah, you guys stay away from that cow. It might kill you.
Like, by the way, that one tries to kill humans every chance it gets.
That one has a
Good
taste
luck.
for human blood. So
That's almost as bad as the rams and the sheep.
man, we've
Oh
got
yeah,
some fun stories.
the day you were your grandfather was getting those sheep fixed, and we had to like corner that one, and it like head butted a pole and knocked itself out.
The stupidest
Like, you are
animal
not-
in the world just got dumber.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw this out
Lost a
there.
few brain cells.
I think it did on purpose because the next thing we knew, it was going up that hill. as
No,
fast
what
as
it was
could.
doing, it was panicked because here comes an Aberry club to cradle it in its arms, but it thought you might, it saw you rip that coyote in half, and it wasn't taking any chances.
I just
I'm not
remember,
gonna be next.
remember that we got the ram into the shed and Casey's grandfather's locked it and was like, it should be good. It can't get out. Next thing we know, that shed door gets blown off because it's the ram coming out. And we go,
Good times
I'm
on
outta
that
here.
farm. That was good stuff.
that's not going to keep the ram in. And he's like, I got a tractor.
Yeah, he like pulled the tractor up to the door.
Yep.
Good luck, Ram.
Yeah, do your
Beat-
worst.
Beat my John Deere.
Here's a Ford.
So also in the mailbag this week, we received an email from Streamer Daddy, and Streamer Daddy had a couple of questions that actually we do have some answers to. So the
Not
first
good
question, he wants to know about the best wrestling entrance song. So I know some of us have opinions on that, I'm sure. James, you want to start that one?
Oh, I mean, classic entrance songs. Shawn Michaels with "Sexy Boy," Triple H in the Game. You've got the Undertaker's is just phenomenal and legendary. You got Ric Flair's. It's classic. Dusty Rhodes.
What an amazing segue that is into the second part of the email, which asked us what we thought the advantage, being Aberry, what we thought the advantage's entrance music would be, and we've experimented with that a little bit. James, go ahead, tell us about that.
So back when Avery was still in high school, he was a couple of years behind us. Me and Andrew went to go pick him up one day, and as we're pulling up to the high school, I told Andrew it would be just hilarious if we played Dusty Rhodes' theme song as Avery was coming to the car. So as we're pulling up to pick Avery up, we turn the radio up as loud as it can, and we start playing Dusty Rhodes. And Avery comes running out of the school like he is heading to the ring for like the Royal Rumble or like main event of WrestleMania. I mean, just charging as hard as he can towards the car. Gets to the car, throws the door open, throws his backpack in, gets in, slams the door, and goes, "You guys are lame." And then we drive off slowly through the parking lot, still blaring it. There's people standing around looking like, what in the world is going on?
It was good times.
It's fantastic.
Do you have fond memories of that? Avery, we're not completely visual. You're going to have to speak. Do you have fond memories of that?
We are fully visual.
Yeah, but not everybody's going to be watching YouTube. Although if they want to watch us on YouTube, they can at Chinwag with the Horseman. That's our YouTube channel. Don't think I
No, I don't have fond memories of any of that. I need new friends. I'm taking applications.
You heard it here first, folks. Avery the Advantage is taking new applications for 3 new best friends. So send your applications to chinwagwithhorseman@gmail.com. We'll go over them. And we'll just see how that pans out for Avery. So if you want to be Avery's new fan or new friend, I should say, send those applications in. Resumes.
You'll need at least 3 character background check references.
Yeah, we're going to need some references.
Yep.
But
we'll make phone calls.
So the Advantage's entrance music would be American.
If you pay the rights and royalties, the American Dream.
Yeah. You'll have to get WWE to turn that loose.
I'm sure they will. That'll be all right.
Do what, Casey?
I said they're pretty easy to work with. I'm sure they will.
Yes, they're quite pleasant. They sure do like to employ people for as long as possible during global pandemics and not fire them for no reason.
And not call them dead weight.
And not say that they're dead weight. You know, just all around good people.
By the way,
really so.
Classic entrance song that was real good. Bret Hart's.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think any song that when you hear it, you just immediately associate it with that, like, you know, Bret Hart, that guitar.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sing it, but you know,
the shattering glass for Stone Cold.
Shattering Glass with Stone Cold.
Real American Hero.
Real American.
The Rock. Yeah.
The Rock.
Yep. Ric Flair's is only Ric Flair's because it's a classical piece of music, you know. So his is only good when not that it's bad, but it's identifiable when he woos at the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really have much of that except the New Day maybe right now.
Yeah.
Legion of Doom.
Water Rush.
Brock Lesnar's is very iconic.
Yes.
Sandman.
Yeah.
What was the Sandman's?
Sandman.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Brian Danielson usually has pretty good selection of music.
Flight of the Valkyries.
CM Punk.
Final Countdown. It was the Final Countdown in his early days.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk with
Cult of Personality.
Yep.
You know what's a big deal about that too? Vince McMahon, he convinced Vince McMahon to pay for the rights to do that, which is amazing. Vince McMahon does not like to pay for popular music. He has a music department that does that for him.
He had a music department.
Bobby Roode. Speaking of that music department, they wrote that glorious song. It's a great song.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah,
Real American Hero.
Savage.
Savages,
Pomp and Circumstance.
Yokozuna.
What about worst ones? What's the worst one?
Oh.
Bushwhackers.
The Bushwhackers. There's a lot of just generic ones, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And every one of them were just kind of generic.
Sasha Banks.
Generic, I think. Do what?
Sasha Banks.
Oh, you don't like Boss Time?
No.
For the life of me, I cannot remember. I've heard that song 100 times, I guess, but for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. So that'll
must not be that good, you know.
Must
then
not
you've
be
got
that important.
what was it? Fabulous with Carmela's entrance, where it just pretty much spelled fabulous at the beginning. That was all it was.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But that sums up Carmela's gimmick pretty well. Be as annoying as possible.
Who else has one that was very awful back in the old days?
Oh, speaking of wrestlers that used to be with WWE, and they got good entrance music. Aleister Black's "Root of All Evil" was pretty good.
That's another one I know I've heard, but I just don't remember it.
Yep.
Cactus Jack's was pretty good.
Keith Lee has a good one.
Yep.
In AEW.
Well, when he was in NXT, he had a good one.
Yeah.
And wasn't the same?
Probably not.
No.
Adam Cole does. I don't know if his music is necessarily iconic in the same way, but that boom thing he does during his entrance is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob Van Dam's.
Yes.
Is awful.
Going New Japan, Minoru Suzuki's music they sing along to that.
Yep.
That's a pretty big one.
And then you've got Jericho's Judas. Everybody sings along to it now.
Iconic one.
Does he do all of his own music? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought.
Well, I mean, when you're the lead singer of Fozzy, I guess you can do whatever you want.
When you're the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Yep.
I got one that you probably won't think has a good one, but iconic. Goldust.
It is. You do know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon's "No Chance in Hell."
Kane's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones. But anyway, there you go, Streamer Daddy. There's your answer.
There's a lot of bad ones too.
Your answer is "The American Dream" would be Aberry's entrance music. Aberry's living the American dream. Aberry is the embodiment of the American dream. Just look at that beard.
Yep.
And you could be his friend if you send us an email with an application.
Yep.
That's right.
Send
He's
us an
taking
application.
applications. 3 openings.
We'll make the phone calls. Background checks and references.
So moving along, Aberry had a question this week too that he wanted to address, and I think it's an interesting one. If you had a choice, would you rather have Spider Sense or Daredevil's Radar Sense? Casey, why don't you start us off on this one?
I just feel like Daredevil's he's just a blind guy. He just echolocating like a bat or something. It just doesn't.
Hold on. Can I clarify this question? So maybe Casey we'll figure this out or have a better answer maybe.
All right. Dang.
So I haven't seen No Way Home, but there's a clip that has circulated through some of my shorts and TikToks and stuff like that as I scroll through on YouTube. And it's the scene where it's Matt Murdock being Pia Parker's lawyer, and they are sitting at the table, and somebody throws a brick through the window, and you see Aunt May and Happy freak out and try to lay down, and you see like Spider-Man or Peter Parker like throws up his hands, but he clearly knows it's going to be too late and it's probably going to smack him in the face, and Daredevil just catches it like, oh, I knew it was coming all the time. So I've been looking at it, just catch it. Pow.
So, well, it wouldn't help him to look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, no, he can see. If you think about it, he can see it like it's on fire.
Well, that's how they did it in the show.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to read. I'm going to read his
but
powers
the show's
and
not
abilities.
canon.
Huh?
Because it's coming to Disney.
Yeah, but there's it's a difference in comic book canon versus Marvel cinematic.
Marvel cinematic canon, yeah.
But I'm looking at marvelfandom.com here on Daredevil's entry. Powers. It says radioactively enhanced physiology. Murdoch was originally enhanced by the radioactive isotope, which later blinded him. As a result, he possesses superhuman senses, agility, reflexes, balance, and etc. Murdoch's nervous system has also increased some of his abilities at peak human level. At his early age, Murdoch did not know how to handle his powers until he met Stick, who became Matt's mentor and taught him to control and enhance them. So, Casey, I think to say that he is just a blind dude that has echolocation is perhaps doing a disservice to his power.
That's just how I imagined his powers go, just
well, but you were being a little bit of a nerd douche there with that, because you were not.
I'm sorry. He was blinded. Douche. He was blinded by radioactive waste or something, and now his other senses are increased. Yeah. He's still blind.
Well, you're right. That was going to be my question about this was, in order to get Daredevil's radar sense, do I have to be blind? That's my question, Avery. Do I have to be blind?
You have to be exactly as Daredevil is. Because Daredevil's not Daredevil if he's not blind.
Yeah, exactly.
I would. I mean, if I got everything else that came with Daredevil, I would lose my sense of sight.
I'm going to pick Spider Sense, and I'll tell you why. Daredevil knew that brick was coming because he probably felt the wind disturbance as it flew through the air. He may have heard it, but Spider-Man can sense danger imminently, and I think that's more valuable.
Before it happens.
Okay.
As it's happening.
So I'm just going to throw this out. I'm going to choose Daredevil because, I can sense it from miles away. For you, for danger, it's got to be right there coming at your face.
I really don't think it's miles away.
Okay, couple blocks.
How far do you think someone threw that brick?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I had the sense to know that, okay, there's somebody on the ground floor about to throw a brick through this window in 5 seconds, I would rather know that than, crap, something's coming at me.
Andrew?
Well, so presumably then, if you have Daredevil's powers, you also get the training with Stick. Is that what are we going with that too? So you know how to use them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say Spider-Man. And I love Daredevil. I love Daredevil, but I'm going to say Spider-Man.
But I'm just saying, I mean, Spider-Man seems like it has to be imminent danger. It has to be that. Daredevil sense is there's somebody coming up the third floor because I can smell him. He has cheap cologne.
Andrew, can you look up the Spider Sense?
Oh, yes.
The final say on what his powers are.
The final say would be James.
James is being characteristically silent. He's just taking it all in, getting all.
I've also not voted yet. Baby, you're making a strong argument for Daredevil though here.
I mean, you lose one sense, but you gain all the other senses.
Okay. Now wait. But you're not talking about Spider-Man's powers. You're just talking about the Spider Sense, right?
Just the Spider Sense.
Well, I mean, if you choose Spider-Man, sure, you can have all his powers because you get them in the same way. No, I'm just talking about senses, though. Whose sense is better?
You can't lift a car or create web out of your arms or whatever.
Well, Spider-Man can't either.
Some versions of him can.
Spider-Man has the proportionate strength of a spider.
Yes. So, I'm not super strong, but I at least can fight.
He was shown to easily swing a 3-ton wrecking ball using steel chains.
I mean, I can't do that.
I can't either.
But I'm just saying, if you choose the sense, it's a given that you get all the other ones. But so we are comparing which sense is better.
But you're saying that if I choose Spider Sense, I get all of Spider-Man's abilities as well?
Yes, but that doesn't come in play, and because we are discussing sense, just sense. Okay. So fine, you don't get nothing, just the Spider Sense.
Okay, so let me read.
So you get to be a lame-o guy that goes, man, there's a car coming at me. I gotta get out of the way.
But you don't have the powers to get out of the way because you're just a normal dude. You're gonna get run over anyways.
Well, but at least you can see the car coming, so maybe you can move a little.
You can avoid it.
Spider-Man possesses a precognitive danger or spider sense, which warns him of potential or immediate danger by the manifestation of a tingling sensation in the back of his skull and links with his superhuman kinesthetics, enabling him to evade most any injuries unless he cognitively overrides his automatic reflexes. So you got to have the reflexes that goes with it. The precise nature of this sense is unknown, though the Master Weaver I don't know what that is, states it is enabled by his connection to the web of life and destiny. It appears to be a simultaneous clairvoyant response to a wide variety of phenomena, everything from falling safes to speeding bullets to thrown punches, which has given several hundredths of a second warning, which is sufficient time for his reflexes to allow him to avoid injury. The sense can also create a general response on the order of several minutes. He cannot discern the nature of the threat by the sensation. He can, however, discern the severity of the danger by the strength of his response to it. Spider-Man's spider sense is directional and can guide him to or away from hidden weapons and enemies. Sudden and extreme threats can cause his spider sense to react with painful intensity. Spider-Man can also sense and dodge attacks directed randomly or by artificial intelligence. Using his spider sense to time his enhanced reflexes, Spider-Man can casually dodge attacks up to and including automatic weapons fire, provided there is sufficient distance. His spider sense is sufficiently well linked to his reflexes to the point that a threat can trigger them even when Spider-Man is asleep or stunned. His spider sense has helped him preserve his secret identity, since it alerts him to observers or cameras when changing into or out of his costume. The spider sense does not react to those who Peter does not consider to be a threat, such as Aunt May, or when a fellow hero makes a bluff while playing poker. Spider-Man can choose to ignore his spider sense, and distraction or fatigue diminishes its effectiveness. Spider-Man's fighting style incorporates the advantage that his spider sense provides him. His body begins to produce more adrenaline after the sense is triggered, an extension of the fight or flight syndrome. Even when he does not have the use of his eyes, Spider-Man can still use his spider sense in a similar fashion to Daredevil's radar sense to help him see by sensing the direction the danger is coming from by listening on the loudest noise around him. This was first used after Spider-Man was temporarily blinded by a device, but was recently used again to help locate the new Vulture after his acidic breath blinded him. Brush your teeth, bro. As a result of the Venom symbiote bonding to Spider-Man, it and its offspring do not trigger his spider sense, a trait that sometimes has been attributed to symbiotes in general. So wait, Spider-Man.
But wait. Can you read that part about the loudest sense in the loudest sound in the room?
Yes. This is when he does not have his sight, though, so it's not typical. Spider-Man can still use his spider sense in a similar fashion to Daredevil's radar sense to help him see by sensing the direction the danger is coming from by listening on the loudest noise around him.
Okay. So what you're telling me is, so if he can't see me, if I take like fireworks and set them off in the left side of the room, he's going to think that's the danger. And I'm just going to shoot him in the head from the right.
From the other side of the room.
But are you gonna say to me that if you played loud enough music that it wouldn't distract Daredevil, that he would have an easy time differentiating those sounds? You could do the same thing to Daredevil.
No.
I'm liking this discussion.
If you think about it, Daredevil is no, because he can determine a person walking up 5 flights of steps and who it is.
Yeah, but probably not if he's sitting
in the noisy sea of New York and go, oh man, that's Foggy coming up the steps.
But you didn't.
Foggy's 5 blocks down.
You said you were going to set off fireworks in the room and then shoot him in the head.
Because he's going to be focused. Oh, the loudest sounds over here. So
okay, but at the same time, you have to catch Spider-Man blinded in order for that to be the case.
Which is not very often.
Flashbangs. Which then
he's going to know it's a flashbang. He's going to catch it and throw it back at you.
With his spider sense.
With his spider sense and super fast reflex.
Not if it's coated in venom.
That's true.
That's not a standard issue piece of equipment, is it? Symbiote coated flashbang grenades?
We ain't talking about standard pieces of equipment.
All right. James, weigh in on this, man.
So, okay. I'm going off of, I've been sitting here thinking the whole time you guys have had your little debates on
we smelt
the moments that I've seen Spider Sense used. So I'm thinking Spider-Man the Animated Series. Every time they show in that his Spider Sense, it's like an immediate, rockets hitting him or rhinos crashing through a building, that kind of stuff. So it's always like immediate threat.
But then there's also times where he's like, wait, where's it coming from?
Yeah. But it's always like very immediate, like he's under attack. If you watch Into the Spider-Verse, when there's one particular scene where you have Peter Parker and you have Gwen Stacy and you've got Miles, Peter and Gwen's spider sense goes off just like a half second sooner than Miles because they were bitten by like the original radioactive spider, and Miles was bitten by a different radioactive spider. So his spider sense isn't as in tune or as sensitive as theirs are. When it comes to Daredevil and his radar sense, if you watch the Netflix series, but it's no longer on Netflix, it'll move over to Disney Plus at some point. Like, yeah, he's able to discern how many people are coming upstairs, like down the hallway, what kind of weapons they're carrying, what kind of, stuff they have going on. And he's able to pick out all weird kind of stuff. He's able to tell when somebody's like lying by like hearing their heartbeat, even in a loud, crowded courtroom. Like, I think he would be able to discern between there's fireworks going off over here, somebody's moving over there. So his is a little bit more sensitive, but I still think you have to go with Spider-Man. Like, that's ultimately what I think it is. Spider-Man senses, because he's got the reflexability a little bit quicker than Daredevil probably.
Hey, bro,
I absolutely love Daredevil, but
what?
You look so disgusted right now, Barry.
Well, I just the scene that keeps playing in my head is when in the first Spider-Man movies, Sam Raimi's, when he is at school and Flash Gordon's about to punch his head in, like that stupid scene of him like standing there and he like watches the spitball hit the fly and just everything just kind of slows down, and then he like leans to the left where Flash punches the thing. Like, I'm like, that's such a bad represent. Like, I would hands down go Daredevil.
I mean, Daredevil in season 2 of Daredevil, when he's taking on Bullseye, he's flicking like little pins and like BBs at him, and it's totally disorienting. Like, I mean, he's all over the place.
Casey?
You're making a good argument. I don't know. I mean, the question is, which would you just rather have? Which would you rather live with? Daredevil senses or the spider sense?
Yeah.
And just our normal lives as we live them now. I don't know. I think the spider sense seems like it'd be more benefit if you were under a constant attack or something. But, as I go to work, I'm not under a constant missile shooting at me and things, thankfully. So I don't know. I think the Daredevil ones might be more useful.
To counter your argument right there, spider sense only takes off when I'm in, potential danger or imminent danger. Daredevil radar is how I'd have to live my life constantly because you don't have sight.
I'm all right with that.
You can't see.
In the Ben Affleck movie,
if I lost my sight, I would be, that's what I would hope, is to be able to have that super ability and everything.
Yeah.
But if it was strictly just radar sense or spider sense? Which one do you want to live with your daily life, as my life is currently?
So non-existent. So you would choose non-existent.
Yep.
I would never.
But you would be able to see.
If
something bad did happen, it'd be ready.
Man.
And it sounds like when Andrew was reading that description of the spider sense, it sounds like there's a lot more to it than, just, oh crap, there's a missile, I got to jump out of the way or whatever.
But see, if you going with just that, you just get the sense. Okay, so all you get is spider sense, none of the none of the abilities, or daredevil sense.
Well, I don't think you can separate the spider sense from the reflexes, at least. If not the strength and whatever, then I think it's linked to the reflexes in such a way that you can't even separate them.
Yeah.
But you would never use it. It would just be fine. You get the reflexes. You would never use it in your normal life.
But what are you going to do with super smelling?
Sometimes you wish you could turn that off, probably,
I bet you do.
I would know when you come in, Andrew, and I would duck down.
You know when I'm coming anyway. You see me through your troll shack. Well, anyway, back on track. All right, final vote. Barry, Daredevil senses, spider sense. Final vote.
I would take Daredevil.
Casey?
Daredevil.
James?
Spider sense.
And I vote spider sense. Man, straight tie.
Non-useful.
We'll need the listeners to break this tie. Folks, go ahead and email us your thoughts on this. Would you rather have the Daredevil senses or the spider sense?
I would rather know when people's coming.
But all right, hang on. So in Spider-Man, in the Avengers Endgame, right? Spider-Man's on the school bus. The little hairs come up on his little British.
Yeah, but there's a spaceship coming down in the sky.
It's behind him.
Okay, but all the classmates was already.
Okay, hold on.
No, he noticed it first. And
hold on, I've got to correct your guys' nerd doucheness here. It wasn't in game, because in game he had to come back.
Yeah.
So you're right.
Infinity
War.
There you
go. But no, the spaceship. He was the first one to notice it, and told his buddy to create a distraction. And then the buddy was like, "Look at that spaceship!" And then he got out. But his spider sense activated.
Yeah.
And there was already a big spaceship.
But he didn't know it was there. You're saying it's only imminent danger. It's not.
No, I'm just saying that his sense is that there's a potential danger because there's a big spaceship. Daredevil would have been like, man, there's a spaceship coming down from planet
what
Venus.
What would he do about it?
I heard it 30 minutes
Nothing.
ago.
So then what's the point?
What Spider-Man did about it? He
got out and got on the spaceship and
he died.
Alien butt. That's what happened.
He died.
He saved the universe.
He still died.
Where was Daredevil?
Defending the streets of
New
Hell's
York.
Kitchen or whatever.
Because all the other ones was like, you know what? We're going to go fight Thanos and all die because Thanos kills us all.
Only half of them died. Anyway, moving on to the backlog. Anybody reading anything interesting, playing anything interesting?
Andrew, I've noticed you have been mentioning Hitman here lately.
Yes.
I've never played these new Hitman games. I've got to hear about them. Are they any good at all?
They are a lot of fun. Yeah. I've killed a lot of people on those games, made it look like accidents. I threw an axe at somebody today because I was ready to end the level, didn't care to see my playing through, so I just threw an axe at her. But they saw me throw the axe, and so I got shot a lot. So had to be a little more patient.
Don't just throw the axe next time.
No, I didn't. The next time I had to wait and push her into the hog pen or whatever it is.
It sounds pretty awesome. Is this like the newest Hitman or?
So there's 3 of them. The Hitman 3 came out last year, the year before. But it's the first one in that new series that I'm on.
This series has been going on for a while.
Yeah, but it's kind of a rebooted series.
Sounds like it's better from what I've never played any of them, but they must be pretty good.
I like these better than the old ones. The old ones were a little bit gross in a way that like grimy kind of, you know. But yeah,
gross.
They're good. They're good stuff.
I saw a video of somebody playing Hitman, and like you had to kill 2 targets, and the way he did it, he like cut parachutes, because you can sabotage like the helicopter they will try to like leave on. So he like sabotages the helicopter and then like cut their parachutes, and then he's just like casually like strolling out of the building they're in as like the alarm and stuff's going off, and then all of a sudden like out of a window they like parachute off of the building, but their parachutes don't open, so you just see like pew, pew, as he's just like casually strolling away, and
it's a lot of
like
fun.
Targets eliminated, and I guess he got like one of the highest scores you can on the level.
I like to get a wrench and loosen up like gas valves, and then people go to smoke a cigarette and it blows them up. So I like to make it look like an accident when I can. But Hitman 1 came out in 2016, Hitman 2 in 2018, and then the latest one came out in 2021. So yeah, last year.
Nice.
Yeah, but these older ones.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, there's
a bunch of them.
ones.
This is the rebooted version. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
That one was playing when you had all the codes.
When they came out in 16, they did it like episodically. Like
you could get each episode or each level pretty much.
it was like one level a month or something like that.
The first one came out in 2000. So yeah, 22 years. It's a long time.
Me and Abre played one of them, and one of the cheat codes was like a nail gun thing. So like you'd shoot the target or anybody really, and it would like nail them to the wall, and then you could go and like grab their leg to like move the body, and it would just like stretch them across. So we figured out that on one level you could like nail gun a guy on like one side of a door and then drag him over to the other side and nail gun him there. So his body kind of like blocked the door.
Can't get in now.
So in one of the levels I did today, there's a guy who's about to get a heart transplant, and it's a very specific kind of heart. Like it's, I don't know, something weird. And the way I killed him is I threw the heart in the trash can because he'd never get another heart in time to save his life. So
what a cruel human you are.
Well, that one's hard. It's that was like the path of least resistance, was to throw that heart in the trash can.
Somebody donated that heart, and you just, they didn't need it anymore, obviously. But
no, they didn't need it, and he was, some kind of jerk. So that's what happens. That's what happens when you're a jerk.
Man,
I throw your heart in the trash.
Like you just brush it off. It'll be fine.
You'll be all right.
5 seconds.
If he's an evil, nefarious man, that heart might have been harvested in a unsavory way.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know where that heart came from.
Could have been like Monty Python in the Meaning of Life, where they just show up. One of their skits is they show up at the door and they like knock on the door, and like the guy opens the door and they're like, "Are you Arthur blah blah blah?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You're an organ donor." And he goes, "Yeah." And they're like, "We need your liver." And they like drag him into his kitchen, and they like start to harvest his liver and stuff. And his wife's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, he's an organ donor." And she's like, "Oh." And she just sits down like, this is what he signed up for.
It was probably like that because this dude is some kind of crime boss. So I don't know. But anyway, he's dead now. You can. There's an alternate start point on that one where you're in a ninja outfit and you have a sword, but that's all you have, and everybody else has guns and stuff. So it is not quite so easy to infiltrate in that direct approach. So I like to.
Oh, you just run through them,
flash
them.
I mean, the
guards are like, "What's that ninja doing?"
Wham! His head's going.
Yeah,
that stands up.
Slice through everybody around.
That guy sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it's best to pretend to be a doctor. You get right in there
instead of a ninja.
So, anybody else playing anything cool?
I just restarted playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Nice. Is that really good?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. You still have the dumb glitchiness of trying to climb crap, like all the other games.
where he's like running in place, trying to jump a little bit, and
I've not played any of those games in a long
like
time.
you're hanging on something and then you like move down to the low one. He's like, no, I won't go up, not down, up. So you go up to the next one, and then he goes back down. And it's like,
what was the one? What was the one in the American Revolution?
Assassin's Creed 3.
I like that one. That one was fun. It was like Mel Gibson in The Patriot, just going around slaughtering redcoats.
The first one was the best.
The first one was fun. Just going around in the Crusades, slaughtering.
It was a good. It's classic. Seems like they've made this the Assassin's Creed game like, what's it called? Call of Duty or something. They come out with a new one like every year.
Well, that's the way they were cranking them out there for a while, and then
Kind of slowed down.
Yeah, after
Black Flag.
Black Flag was like one of their last like big.
Oh, that one was
series
fun
releases. Then they had like Syndicate, I think, was one, and it was really bad, like glitchy and buggy, and I mean it was really horrible. So they kind of stopped producing, like mass producing them for a little while, and then they came out with Odyssey. Or Origins.
Origins, yeah.
Came out with Origins where you were in Egypt, and they kind of retooled everything, and that's it kind of revitalized it. So
that one was all right. Odyssey's been the funnest one. I need to get back into it and try to finish it.
Black Flag is fun.
No, I tell you what Odyssey has taught me and what this one's about to teach me is boating or trying to boat anywhere in this game is stupid. It's so stupid. I literally was
jump in the water and swim for 30 miles and you're fine.
It would be much better. Because I was last night I was playing it and I was going to meet somebody on my just out in to the left. So I put it on with, because it was like out of the cove where my hometown is, and it's like over to the left is where the evil guy's compound was. I was like, that's so close. Why haven't we done this before to go kill this guy?
It would be so easy to take out. Why have we not?
Yeah, why haven't we not? And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it on the, you can set sail where it's supposed to automatically take you to the point that you want. So I'm setting sail. I hit the button to follow to the objective point, and they ran me into a rock. And so I had to like work the ship off of the rock, hit the button again, and then they ran me right back into it. I was like, you got a bad crew. So then I had to manually do it to make it to where I was supposed to go kill this guy.
I'm going to give a small piece of unrelated insider information. My office chair is the most uncomfortable chair in the world. So when you see me squirm a lot, that's why. It's because I've been sitting on this chair too long.
Was it one of them cheap chairs that we bought whenever we worked at the drugstore?
No, my like parents have this. Each and every one of you have sat on this chair at some point. This was my parents' computer chair growing up, so it's like 20 years old.
Probably used to be a pretty good chair.
It probably did.
But I did gotta say,
Creed, they first released in 2007. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mainline games, counting Valhalla, which was released in 2020.
Wow.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spinoffs.
I tell you what, though, in all three of the last games, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, the parrying system has went downhill.
Lame.
Like you in Valhalla, you don't have that. You can if you time it right, you can hit the thing, and then they just stun. You have to then finish them off. Obviously, you kind of got a little bit of the parry. You could stab once you unlock the thing, but it's not like the first one where you could parry and just like hidden blade people.
Where you're like fighting 30 people at the same time.
And you just parry and just stab people. Parry,
stab.
Parry, stab.
Parry, stab.
Or jump
Hidden
off
blade.
of hay bales and stab innocent people as they walk down the street.
Drag them into the hay bale.
Anytime you can do that, it's, you should.
Well, when I did
I can't remember which one it is, but it was after Assassin's Creed 2. It was one of the ones that wasn't like named. Well, it was named, but it wasn't a numbered one. But you were still playing as Ezio, and you got like poison darts that you could shoot from your hidden blades. That was hidden
fun.
blade. So I would just go and find the target and wait for an opportunity, and then I'd shoot them with like a poison dart, and just like they would wander around, and then all of a sudden they're like, ugh, and they'd fall over dead. And
what happened to
like them? It would go to the scene of like you stabbing them, and then all of a sudden it's like would come out of that scene, and guards would be like, "You did it," and it was like I was way over there when he died.
I just teleported. Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I did it, but still,
you shouldn't have known.
I don't know how I got here. I always loved it when you had like the two guards on the like same patrol, and you like shot one with the poison dart, and he stood there and was like, ugh, and fell over. The other guy goes, "What? Oh, okay."
Got to continue my patrol.
Yeah.
I hope I don't catch what he had.
Must be contagious. So, moving on then to wrestling/sports.
Wait. One more thing about that.
All right.
I always hated that you was a professional assassin and you would kill somebody, and the gods would alert to you, and then they became professional assassins so they could parkour as good as you did.
Right. It doesn't add up, does it? That doesn't make sense.
What? Climb to the tallest building.
You can't hang with me as I run across the rooftops. Oh, wait, we can. But this is when we send out the excellent parkour gods.
Every guard in ancient Jerusalem here can chase you around the rooftops.
Heavy armor. I'm up on the rooftop.
No big deal. It's as light as cotton.
Yeah. So, the worst part is when you like get passed by them, you like, I'm gonna drop down now.
Yeah, just keep going. It's fine. So I guess I don't know of any earth-shattering wrestling news other than Vince McMahon appearing on that podcast and doing a long interview for the first time in years.
Ring of Honor.
Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's small. That's small news too.
That's kind of a big deal, right?
Don't worry about it. So yeah, Ring of Honor to AEW confirmed. That's
I can't wait until they show the banner for that one.
Are they going to use it as like a training program or the minor league or something for it?
Yeah, they've said they're going to use it as like developmental
league.
It's all wait and see.
Didn't the WWE had something like that for a while, right? That
they still do.
Squandered.
They still do.
They've got it.
It's just trash now.
No, they don't. They don't have nothing like that.
They have
NXT 2.0.
Oh, it's trash.
Was it good at some point? I mean, was it
awesome? Yeah,
it was great
at some point.
It was like
it was
where the new wrestlers would go, I guess.
Well, I mean, new to WWE, yeah, they would. Like Kyle O'Reilly. How long had Kyle O'Reilly wrestled before he went to NXT?
Oh, like 10 or 12 years, something like that. Like,
well, I mean, to become like the Red Dragons as they are now, like they teamed outside.
Yeah, they like Fish,
I think they was at
Riley and Cole. All
was they at
well established in Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
a little bit of New Japan, and then they went to NXT. So,
well, all I know is
NXT prior to 2020 was fantastic. Now there's a couple of like hidden gem matches in the 2020, 2021 era of NXT, but anything prior to that is fantastic stuff.
It was good, and then it has just became do I really care about this anymore? Or is it going to be like a 205 live thing where I just don't care if it burns anymore?
If it burns. Casey, I'll put it to you like this.
Lay it to me.
Before, when NXT was good, Walter was Walter. That's the moment when you knew that.
Is that the dividing point? Like when you knew the before and after?
No. The point that you knew that NXT was going downhill was when they said, you know what? I think we should bring up everybody that's good and then re-gimmick them. So
and
they
then
can
release them.
Release them the week later.
I mean, legit. They
That was
called
pretty
up.
much it.
Who was that tag team that stable that was pretty successful? And
Sanity.
no, well, not them. More recently,
with Ali with that.
no, with Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Hit Row.
Hit Row, yeah. They bring these people up, and literally like the week later or 2 weeks later, they cut them loose.
You know, I didn't know anything about him until I caught one of his matches in MLW.
Yeah, probably.
And it was fantastic.
MLW is pretty good.
Yeah,
Was that Major League Wrestling or
Hit
something?
Row up.
Yeah.
They brought Hit Row up for like 2 weeks. They set up a feud with the Bloodline, which is Roman and the Usos. They signed them to like their main roster contracts, which put them under a 90-day no-compete clause instead of the 30-day no-compete clause that NXT had.
And then
within a week of them signing that contract, they were gone.
And it's interesting because Vince McMahon did this interview, and in it, he talked a bit about all the wrestlers that they've cut in the last year, and he called them dead weight. Like, he's a jerk.
That's like his business. You know, I don't know.
There you go.
I mean, well, but it is and it's not because it's a publicly traded company.
It's the shareholders' business, I guess.
Well, I look at it this way. The people who he cut, they were some jobbers, mid-cards, and then they was main eventers. In that main event group, you had people like Keith Lee,
Samoa Joe.
Kieran Cross could have been there.
Not after his call up.
No, but he could have been there back in the thing.
Yeah, but they ruined him.
Yeah. Demolition. Let's make him Demolition. Mia Yim could have been good. Probably a good female, which they need horribly now.
Yeah, they're in bad shape for that.
There was a tag team that they released that was like, really? Like, you need tag teams. And then they let Cesaro just walk out the building like, well, you ain't gonna pay me. Somebody else will pay me to be a main eventer.
Yeah, his contract, they just let it expire. So he doesn't even have a no-compete clause.
I'm trying to think of who else that they let that could have been main eventers and will be main eventers in other companies. Well, take didn't Kylie Ray wrestle for them? And like blew out her knee.
Yeah.
And they let her go, and she's now main eventing, or not main eventing, but gonna wrestle for the NWA belt, right?
Yes. While we're there.
With Chelsea Green. Again, another one.
And Camille.
And Matt Cadona, who was formerly known as Zack Ryder. Mickey James.
Not to mention William Regal and Triple H's management team, basically. Braun Strowman.
It's just, and they did at the worst time when really nobody was able to get hired back. So at least they had the no complete clause because really they wasn't work out there for them.
And it's stuff like they hired Davey Boy Smith Jr. back and then released him. They released Ric Flair. Can I just tell you?
Well,
he asked for it.
He's like 97 years old at this point.
But the whole plane ride to hell kind of.
Is that what did it? And whenever that
he was already released by that point, he was about to come to AEW, I think, because they kept teasing a Sting Tully Blanchard match, and I doubt that would. I bet that was how Flair was coming in, if I had to guess. But
yeah, but I mean, and now he's with what, a 27-year-old.
Yeah, I mean he's doing fine, I guess. He's divorced again, but whatever. So moving on a bit because we are running kind of short here. We do want to address the Heart Kid versus segment. That takes a long time for us to talk through. So we had the idea that we would make that its own podcast. So we're going to do a second show of Heart Kid versus in the very near future. I don't know exactly when that'll be yet, but we're going to line up a few opponents for the Heart Kid and
flesh out some details.
Avery's trying to get us to branch out from the Heart Kid, but we all love the Heart Kid so much. And
well, let's do some tag teams.
We might do some occasional tag, maybe some Survivor Series style tag matches. What
did we do last time? We did a Royal Rumble, right? We
did a Royal Rumble. We did Elimination Chamber with 30 pods or whatever it was.
Like Tiny Tim still won.
Well, what was cracking me up about that was Avery was fine with alternate dimension Tiny Tims coming to fight, but he drew the line at that many pods for the Elimination Chamber.
You can't fit them in.
They're
tiny.
This is a space in our minds. We're only limited by our imaginations.
I'm just saying.
How funny.
But anyway, so no Heart Kid versus this week. We'll likely have that set up with a new show pretty soon because it is something we really enjoy doing, and I hope y'all enjoy it as much as we enjoy doing it. But we do have a question here. Are the robots in the Star Wars universe sentient, or are they just programmed to appear sentient? James?
So wait. Sorry. Before you start trying to explain the question, I think Andrew should be the first one to answer the question.
Well, that's fine. It doesn't matter whichever one of us wants to tackle answering it first, but for a little bit of clarification on why I put this question out there, I've been rewatching the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian again, and it got me to thinking about like C-3PO and R2-D2 and all of them, because there's points where robots don't do what you would expect the robot to do, like the train scene from Book of Boba Fett when they're taking down the train and Boba Fett tells the robot to stop the train and it kind of looks around and then leaps out the window. Like, is that programmed into it, or was it just, well, I'm out, like kind of stuff like that?
It was kind of like a self-preservation instinct, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are they programmed to have that little bit of, preservation, or are they sentient? Like,
I don't know. I feel like you could argue either way. Aren't the what was the prequels? Those little battle droids they had, like they mass produced zillions of them.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they try to not die, or they would show cowardice or whatever, which is more of a human trait than a robot trait. If they were just killer machines, they would have just walked in and wouldn't have cared that they were getting blown apart. But
that's true.
I don't know.
Like,
well, the big ones did.
Yeah, the big ones did, but like the smaller,
they were like, "Oh my gosh, they're coming to kill us! Run away!"
I think in the movies that
was a paraphrase.
Whenever the battle started to swing more towards they were losing, they started to retreat and and surrender and do all that kind of stuff.
Well, I suppose we could say that we don't know for sure that they weren't ordered to do that. We didn't see them get ordered to do that, but I don't know. I'm gonna say that they are not sentient, and the reason that I would say that, I mean, it's pretty complicated. But if they are sentient, then they're in a state of pure slavery, and that's pretty gross.
I mean, a lot of stuff in the Star Wars universe are
bad.
slaves.
Yeah. So I would say no. And in fact, if I look up the definition of sentience, it's defined as the capacity to experience feelings and sensations. So from that, you do hear C-3PO say ow.
Yeah.
So
C-3PO doesn't do what his primary directive is.
So
and R2 does pretty much whatever it wants to.
And it saves the day all the time.
They do refer to them as he, like they never say it. Yeah. It's usually he. So I don't know. It's a toss-up, but I would say they're not.
Do you have a gender pronoun for your toaster?
Yes.
I do. Is that all right with you?
That's fine. I don't know if you call it, my toaster, he.
My toaster's name is Ron. So
Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
That's fine.
There's 2 slots, so I call it they.
The reason I'll say they're not sentient is we know that they're constructed. Anakin Skywalker built C-3PO. I do not know how he would have put feelings in C-3PO. You know what I mean? Like, what's the circuit that causes?
Yeah, he develops it along the way. I mean, like, just prime examples so people can go and watch them kind of quick. An episode of Book of Boba Fett where they sneak in to the palace. There's 2 robots in like a kitchen, and one's like, I'm going to go see if that was a rat, call the rat catcher. Oh, it wasn't a rat. And then the other robot sees that robot get killed and is immediately like, oh, time to fight, and like starts charging at him with like hatchets.
Time to become the robot Grievous.
Yeah, I know, basically.
One of them commits suicide too, basically.
Yeah, the rat catcher robot commits suicide in it. So
okay, here's a question then. And this is dangerous, what I'm about to ask, because it mixes some stuff. Is Commander Data from Star Trek The Next Generation, is Data sentient?
I think he's all official.
They made him an officer in Starfleet. I mean, you don't do that just to a random toaster or whatever. You don't put somebody in a position of command that's a robot. I don't know. It's just a machine.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
or you shouldn't, at least. I guess they did.
Boy, could he be
somebody
a
decided
cyborg?
it was a good idea.
I mean, they are points in the show where he kind of acts like he starts to show emotion, but then doesn't because he kind of lacks the ability.
Well, he's got the emotion chip too later.
Yeah.
They install that in him specifically so he can feel emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, though, he had a desire to be human. And I think having a desire kind of indicates sentience. But I'm like Casey. I think that they're constructed machines. It's washing machines. You know what I mean? Like, my washing machine is not third in command in the house.
It should be, though.
Well, I'm third. I'm first, second, and third in command in my house.
So what are you saying? If we take you out, your house will crumble.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anarchy.
The dog will somehow take over.
Dixie's the one. You're right. The dog's the one in charge. I will tell you that freely.
Well, this question makes me think of another set question about Star Wars that we talked about, and it was General Grievous. Is he robot or is he man?
Don't he have like human organs or something?
Yeah. Well, he was never human. He was an alien.
To be human.
He was an alien. He was never human.
Well, yeah, but he was
biological creature organs.
Machine.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah, his is like I think in the same vein as like prosthetic limbs. I think that's.
I do believe he was the predecessor technology to what they ended up making Vader into.
Yeah, cyborg, Casey. That's right. That's the word. Cyborg.
He's a cyborg.
But I mean, like, looking at the Mandalorian, you have the bounty hunter robot from like the first episode. As it progresses through that season, he gets reprogrammed to be like a nanny robot.
Mm-hmm.
But then near the end of it, he ends up sacrificing himself to allow everybody to have an opportunity to try to escape.
In a very heroic, moving point of the show.
in a, I have to go against my my new programming to go back to my old programming, and my old programming says I can't be captured. So you have to tell me to do this, but it is my choice to make this happen.
Yeah, so he chose.
Yeah, so he's kind of going with his
If-
programming, but he's kind of going against his programming, and he's making the choice to sacrifice himself.
They have some kind of free will, a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's got to be something in there. Yeah. So they might be programmed to do a task, but that ultimate like self-preservation, self-sacrifice somehow, is there programming constantly running up and evolving to include some form of advanced AI that makes them eventually at some point sentient to like, sacrifice themselves or try to save themselves from?
Does that mean it's immoral to have droids in subservient positions?
What?
If they're sentient beings and you're my house slave droid, you got to make all my meals and do my laundry
or is the programming so good that it merely appears like there's sentience?
What if? How about this? Let's think about this way. Maybe they have a prime directive, like the robots in iRobot, where they can't kill a human. They can't. I don't remember the 3 rules, but
those are the 3 laws of robotics.
They can't kill a human.
Can't kill humans.
They have to obey humans unless a human tells them to kill a human. And
well, obviously the Star Wars one skipped right over that with the army of robots killing people.
But then you got to think back to, let's say, like RoboCop. I know, yes, he gets in that meshy thing of being maybe cyborg-ish.
Oh, but he's a cyborg. He's not a robot.
But he's not really, because they go in and they like reprogram his brain. So like he gets those 3 programs of, do your job, arrest the bad guys, keep the peace. And then that 4th one they can't see, that you cannot hurt any Omnicore supervisors.
So the 3 rules of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to become harm. A robot must obey the orders given by humans except such orders conflicting with the first law. And then a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first 2 laws.
But see, if we
talk about a robot to walk in front of a bus, as long as doing that would not endanger the people on the bus, it would do it.
Yeah.
But if you remember back to the first scene of iRobot, where the robot jumps in and saves Will Smith's character and not save the 5-year-old girl that was going to drown in the car next to him, like, you think about it having some kind of, well, I'm going to save this guy, not the girl at all costs.
Well, it was something like they addressed that, and it was something like his chances of survival were better or something. I don't know, but that brings up a question about some of these self-driving vehicles. because
Don't trust them. They will kill us all.
well, but if a self-driving vehicle is about to hit a pedestrian, and the only way to avoid hitting the pedestrian would put its occupant in danger, would it kill the pedestrian or would it kill its occupant?
No, wait. How?
I've seen way too many videos on YouTube of those self-driving cars just plowing straight through, like the silhouette things that pop out, or like the dummies they've got on the tracks. They just mows right through them like it's nothing.
Well, it just keeps going back over.
If you look at Tesla, which has the actual out there right now self-driving vehicles on the interstate,
they're pretty good.
They have a front sensor because you can watch it on the inside the car, the screen, that identifies a person and just stops the car if they get in that range.
I mean, that's front-end collision avoidance.
Yeah. That stuff can stop. The reaction time on that's much quicker than a human. It can stop.
But that stuff can also disable a vehicle, because I've seen where a car has front-end collision, something malfunctioned in the wiring, either a fuse went out or a solenoid or something. The car always thought there was something in front of the car, even though there wasn't, and you couldn't move the car.
That's crazy.
Mine will sense if I'm in the left lane, someone's in the right lane, and they begin to take an exit. For whatever reason, my car will see that, or if I'm behind them and they begin to take an exit, my car won't realize, okay, they're off the interstate. It sees them as stopping or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it slams on brakes every time somebody tries to merge.
But back to what you were saying, Andrew, I mean, it's the prime directive for a car like that is to just stop, not to turn the wheel, not to. So I think it was at all costs would stop the vehicle and not kill either one.
That won't always be an option, though. Like there will be instances when it can't stop in time. And so the only thing it can do is hit the pedestrian or
careen off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's possible.
All right,
hit a wall or hit a pedestrian.
All right, everybody, we'll set up this scenario. Cars coming down the road, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a little kid runs across the road or something because his dad's yelling for Jason across the crowded mall in the heavy rain. No,
not that.
And right there, that is an unavoidable situation.
I would wreck it myself. I would take it out of the robot's hands.
Well, I mean, you could be like that one guy that was seen several times in his Tesla, sitting in traffic. I think it's in LA, asleep.
Sleeping. Well, people do that a lot.
Yeah. That's all. I'm not an absent driver.
But you could be if you had a self-driving car.
I still wouldn't be
if you had a self-driving car. So, I mean, at that moment, the car isn't anticipating somebody running out or a little kid running out. Like, what happens there?
Elaine Herzberg was the first recorded case of a pedestrian fatality involving a self-driving car in 2018. A little tidbit of information there for you for Jeopardy.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw this out there also. I don't think a person driving a Tesla, which I bet they still do it, but I don't think many people are driving, letting the car drive itself in a busy city.
That's true.
But I bet people are. I'm not saying, that's not happening.
The thing about
I have seen clips of people going out drinking and the Tesla drives them home.
I think the Teslas, they can change the program on those over the air. I think that I had a friend that rented one and I rode around in it with him for a while. And I think he had a self-driving one and he showed me what it would do. And you had to I think you had to touch the steering wheel or something every so many seconds or it would pull itself off to the side of the road. It would shut off the self-driving stuff and you would have to drive it yourself.
Yeah.
It'd punish you for not paying attention. Yeah, you have to
Like
like.
pressure.
Yeah, because he's like, I wonder what happens if you don't touch
Yeah,
it. and it's
that's
like,
what
I'm gonna
happened.
stop.
I've seen a lot of videos and stuff of like people in Teslas pulling up behind other Teslas and them like keying in stuff on their little tablet center console.
The touchscreen computers.
Yeah, the giant iPad.
And being able to like do stuff to the Tesla that's in front of them.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm just gonna say.
Make it like flash its lights or its horn go off, or make it do something ridiculous. And then of course I've seen videos of where people have gotten into their Teslas and have like reprogrammed the horn to be something different, or if you put on the brakes it makes like a sound, and
if you turn on the turn signal it'll do a whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
I tell you the only thing that I would like to test from a Tesla.
The guns?
No, if it's all-wheel drive, because that's what they all say they are.
Well, then
you can get some are all-wheel drive. I think you can get some that are not. I think
they all say all-wheel drive.
We can get like dual motor. I think they have electric motors for each wheel. I think.
I want to know if that Tesla truck has ever been released. That one that looked like it was the PlayStation 1 graphic truck driving around. Nice blocky polygon.
I did see
looked like a
I won't say it was
from, Metal Gear Solid.
Hyundai truck that looked awful. That looked like the Tesla truck. Had the short bed, blocky kind of features. And I was like, you bought that for a truck? I would go buy like a $200 truck and have a better truck than you. It came up this what?
Don't buy a $200 truck, Barry.
It probably would look better than
not
that.
Not a good idea.
That truck is not going to last you long.
But
I mean, it could if you bought it for $200 and then you sunk about $6,000 into it.
Yeah, maybe then.
But
transmission,
engine,
wheels,
seats.
I feel like the self-driving cars
frame, suspension, doors,
paint and body.
I don't know if you guys have seen the TV show that's on
brakes,
gas pedal
on Amazon called Upgrade.
Hey, Barry, hang on. We're listing the parts you'll need for your $200 truck.
Windshield.
I don't care. I'm trying to change this.
Windshield wipers. Exhaust system.
He's gone.
Starter.
He's gone.
Plugs and wires.
Radiator.
Turn signals. Headlights.
Radio.
He's gone. He's out.
He's gone.
Well, let's take a final vote on, are the Star Wars robots sentient? Casey, are the Star Wars robots sentient?
I'm going to say no. They're not sentient.
Hey,
just
Barry?
very well programmed.
No.
James.
I'm going to say no, but I think their programming gets them to a certain point of free will.
I'm going to say no again, just because they're built. They're constructed in some kid's garage in a shitty desert planet. But I am like you, James, where I do think that the programming is such that it would develop AI if, obviously. Anyway, there you go. Unanimous.
Well, if you think about the movie Her with Walking Phoenix in it, that thing became sentient.
Is that the one where he fell in love with Siri?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's weird.
It is, but I'm just saying.
My Siri's a British dude, so.
I think the machine could become sentient if it's programmed to a evolutionary kind of AI.
My Siri is an Irish lady.
Mine's Australian.
I wanted mine to be like Alfred, so it's a British guy.
Mine's
Alfred though.
Mine's a lovely Australian woman that can't understand me.
Mine was the standard Siri for the longest time, and then I was looking at it, and it was like, change the accent, and I was like, oh, cool. And I went with the Irish one. I was kind of hoping at some point it would just be like, a drunk lady yelling at me.
Oh, hey, Casey, how about yours? Is your Siri something strange? Oh, wait, no, you have a Microsoft phone.
I've got a work phone. It's an iPhone, so it's pretty much default factory settings, though. So
let's not phone shame Casey.
I think I want a Siri that is Western North Carolina, East Tennessee phone voice.
Hey, y'all, you trying to make a call?
Do what?
Oh, you trying to call your aunt twice removed, but now she's back.
Trying to call you mama
from down the laneway.
That's what we need right there. We need, country.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. It could be country. It could be posh. It could be old English, new English. It wouldn't understand me.
Yea, and verily I say unto thee, thy call canst be completed as dialed. Thou shalt try again later.
Shakespeare there.
You want to call this person? Nah, man, I'm gonna make you call this person. Somebody you won't want to talk to.
The joke is on you. We shall call someone else.
You said Brittany? I'm gonna call Belvedere.
Who?
Anytime I get Siri to try to call like Aberry, it's like calling a berry club.
It pronounces my sister's last name funny.
No.
I'll tell you off the air, but
I think if
it pronounces me always funny.
I think if it's not like a normal-ish name, it struggles to process it.
I could try to call James with Siri, and it would give me Casey.
Well,
yeah.
It knows you two have a love garden, so it knows exactly who you really want to talk to.
The best
part is who it needs to talk to.
Yeah, that's what
is. I could try to call James with Siri, and it would also give me like mom, and it's like no, I just trying to call James. Does any of that sound like a M or a C to you, Siri? Come on, let's be smart about it.
Well, Siri will always just have to get better, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you can tell it, folks, but we're slowing down a little bit here. We've been recording for a while. We're getting a little tired, a little late in the evening. So we're going to wrap this up, but be looking out for Heart Kid Versus, our new series that we're going to start soon. Be emailing in some suggestions. Oh, you know what? We might have to get a different email address for that one.
I think they can all hit up the same email.
Keep the one. Well, be emailing your suggestions for.
Put in the subject line Heart Kid Versus.
Yeah. Yes. And if you want us to vent out to other people.
No, we're doing Heart Kid, just Heart Kid.
But Heart Kid and somebody else.
You can pick opponents for Heart Kid. You can also send in your applications to be Aberry's new friends because he's sick of us. So those also come to the email address. Aberry, what's that email address?
I don't have access to it.
James, what's that email address, brother?
Oh, the email address is chinwagwithhorsemen@gmail.com.
Casey, if they're listening to us on a podcast and they want to just see what we look like, how can they reach us there? Where can they find us?
Wow, there's this website called YouTube. You go there, you type in Chinwag with the Horsemen. Our channel will pop up.
Wow.
And they'll be able to find almost every single video or audio we've ever done.
Yeah. You can come and look at our ugly mugs.
You can see our ugly mugs.
The face you just made, I hope that's the thumbnail on this video. I really do. I really hope that's the thumbnail.
Well, you young whippersnappers, what's this thing called YouTube? That's the.
You're the youngest one out of us all.
And if I may be so bold, you probably spend the most time on YouTube as all of us.
Yeah,
that's true.
So that's how you reach us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get some questions from you, some applications to be Aberry's friend, and some ideas for who the Heart Kid can fight. For Chinwag with the Horsemen, I'm Andrew.
I'm Aberry.
I'm James.
And I'm Casey.
Thanks for listening.